This video will be an overview of most of the videos, not all of them, that I've done with the Spectrum app, TCL, Roku TV. So some of the things I'll look at: accessing previous channel in Spectrum, creating a video library, creating your favorites. I'll have some troubleshooting that have worked for me during the last few years that I've had this particular TV. Again, this one only has internet. There's no cable connection to it. It's streamed through internet and the apps that I have here, including the main one that I watch a lot, the Spectrum app. So when I power this on, I have it on Spectrum, so when I power it on, by default it goes to whatever channel you were watching last.
Wow, 2 gorgeous drop shots in a row.
And I was watching the tennis channel, so it goes to that. And we'll look at how to manage that startup channel also in this particular video. And I will be blurring out a lot of the video just so I don't get cited for copyright infringement. Okay, so the blurring you'll see, or when I block the video with whatever, that's the reason I'm doing it. So the first thing I'll do is how to access the previous channel. So I'm going to go to this channel right here, 461. And notice on the upper part of the screen there, I don't know if you saw it, it said hit the rewind button on your remote. In the middle you have the keys to play a video, rewind it, or forward the video. So if I hit the rewind button, it takes you back. You see there press, and you see the two icon there to go, press the rewind button, and it takes you to the previous channel. Do it again. And there you have it. Again, press the rewind for previous channel. Now the other thing I'll do here also is you can do with this, I have a favorites category which I'll talk about later on also. So if I click on favorites, I have most of the channels that I watch, mainly in sport, movies of course, news, content. So normally you would scroll through this using your up and down buttons like this. You can press it hard to scroll through it. But if you use the rewind button and the forward button on your streaming buttons, it goes a lot faster. Fast forward, just forward. And you can do that also on Roku main screen if you have a lot of channels added there. Okay, so that's one tip there that you can use the remote for. Previous channel, fast forward, a lot quicker. And like I said, when I power on the TV, in general it goes to the last channel that I was watching. If I hit the back button, which is an arrow on the upper part of the remote, on the left side, you have the back button or arrow. If I hit that, so you have this menu right here. Obviously, live TV, you just press OK, and then you have your guide here, which again I'm going to use that another feature that I'm going to go through. My library there. Okay. On-demand content, you have a search there to find on-demand content. But what I do here is go to the settings, so down at the bottom left, and then hit enter. And you can do a lot of things here. Guide sorting, you can set it by network. I like the numbers better, so I have it set to channel number. You can clear watch list. Okay, I'll go over some of that later. Clear viewing history and bookmarks. And here's the startup channel. So that means when you click on the Spectrum app, usually it'll go to whatever channel you were watching, but if you want it to go to a particular channel, power on to a particular channel, click on this. So the startup channel now is on, and I have it on, see, it was off before. Okay, it's off there, but I've hit OK. And then right now it's set to the CNN. So if you want to change that, click on it. So here we have it then. You can click on whichever one you want now. Okay. If I leave it on CNN and just don't do anything, it'll power on to CNN. All you gotta do is click on whatever one you want. You want ABC, click on it. Okay, so it's on ABC there, and it's on. So if I power it off, well, I guess I didn't have to power it off, but I could have just hit the home button. But let's go back to Spectrum. And now it should be on ABC. And you can see it is. ABC Channel 5 General Hospital is on right now. So if you leave it there, next time you power on to or click on the Spectrum app, it should start up on the ABC. Now the other thing that I mentioned I would talk about is the favorites channel. So I have it right now on all channels, but let me put it on my favorites. And like I said, these are channels that I created. Well, I didn't create them, but I added them to the. I created the favorites list by adding channels to it. So if you don't have a favorites list, this category might not appear here for you. So what you can do is just go. For example, I'm going to go to sports. And again, we subscribe to Spectrum, and we have a lot of premium channels. We have a lot of sport packages. So let me pick a channel that I know I don't subscribe to. I got ESPN though, of course, it's on my favorites list. Yeah, let me click on this Pac-12 here. Click on this. To add a channel to a favorites, we need to go to guide. So click the back button again, top of the remote to the left, the arrow. And then you want this menu right here. If it doesn't appear, click it again, click the arrow again. So I want to go to guide. Okay, so Pac-12, let's say I wanted that in my favorites. I might already have it, I'm not sure because I have so many, but let me go to this over here. And notice on the left side, do we see the heart? It says press OK to add favorite. That means I don't have it. Okay, so if I click on that, you see the heart is shaded in. So now it's in my favorites category. And it'll stay there until I unfavorite. Okay. Well, I don't want this one on my favorites list, so I'm going to click again on it. It says, okay, press OK to add favorites. So you know I know it's not in my favorites list. Okay, that's how you add a channel to favorite. Just go to that particular channel and click on the guide. So it gives you this format, and then to the left you'll see, again, press OK to add to favorites, or press OK to unfavorite if you've already got it. And like I said, I have quite a few channels on my favorites. Okay, the next thing I want to look at, and again I want to stay there. I'll click the back arrow again. So let me go to my library and click on this. So this is my library, and these are all from On Demand. Okay. You can add movies to this and watch them later, and they'll stay there as long as Spectrum keeps them on demand. Sometimes they'll remove them on demand, and you can watch it when it comes on at a regular time, but not at your convenience. Okay. So let's see this one here. Click on King Kong. I added this one. And see, this one I can still watch at this point. If I couldn't, if they had taken it off, then this watch list would not be here. Okay, so I could click play right now. And I can watch it. Okay, so let me go back. And sometimes if you watch a movie for a while, it'll put it right here, which is titles you're watching will be here while they're still in progress. Okay, if you don't want them there, you can go ahead and just go to this here to the left, and you can delete it. Obviously here we don't have anything to delete, but if you put your cursor on the box there where it says go to featured and click on it, it'll delete it. Okay, here are the ones that I have in my list. Should I decide that I want to remove all of these and maybe add some new ones, I could go right here and then clear, and it would take these all off. Okay. Or I can just click on them on the particular movie and remove it from the watch list by just clicking. For example, let's see. Okay, so if it has an X, that means I have it on my watch list. So if I unclick it, that should take it off the watch list. And sometimes it doesn't take it off right away. You have to power off and sign off of Spectrum and come back, and then it'll be off. But anyway, that should do it. The X means it's there. So how can you add movies to the watch list? Go to the left over here, and I'm going to go to the movies category, premiums, and any movie video that has that back arrow, most of the time anyway, I won't say every time, but it's on demand. Okay, so let's see if this one is. I hit the down arrow where the OK button is, or on that area, hit the down arrow, get more info, keep going down. Okay, so if it has this watch, and then at the end it has watch list, that means you can add it to the watch list. So I'll click on this. And then I'll go back. I'm clicking the back arrow here. So I'm going to go back to library. And there it is. Now, if you have a specific movie that you want to put in your library or watch list and watch it at a later time, you can do a search over here. You can type in the title, do a search, and then click the play button. And if it has that watch list category or button there, you can go ahead and do what I just did and put the X on it, and it'll appear on your watch list. Or you can just go to On Demand. And you have featured movies here. You can go to networks and search by network, find a movie, I just go through here. Harry Potter. Click on that. And this one has a watch list. So this is one you can click and put it on your watch list. If it doesn't have them, then of course you have to watch it whenever it comes out. Or whatever Spectrum decides to show it. Now another thing I want to talk about briefly here is on your home page here for the Roku. You can also use the fast forward. See, I have a lot of channels. I have 64 things on this. Not all channels. Some of them are inputs and so forth, like this over here. But I can also scroll on this one using the rewind and forward buttons on my Roku remote. Okay, there I'm going forward. Go back. So forth. And again, if I have a category or a channel that's way at the bottom, instead of scrolling all the way to the bottom, you can just scroll up. See, let's say I was looking for Peacock. It's at the bottom of the list, so instead of going all the way down, just go up. Or if I'm looking for, say, settings, the next category when I talk about some troubleshooting. So settings is way at the bottom over here. So instead of going way to the bottom, I just go up, and there's settings. Okay. So let me go to here. And down to power. Now, one of the main issues that I've had in the past with movies, either in Spectrum or Netflix, is sometimes the video freezes. One time I turned on and it had everything was green. I'd go to Netflix, I'd go to Spectrum app, I'd go to other channels that I have, and the screen would be, you could hear the voice or the speech, but you couldn't see the video. One time I was watching a tennis match, and the sound was not in sync with the hit. So the guy would hit the tennis ball, and a second or two later you would hear the sound of the racket hitting the tennis ball. Or sometimes the speech is not in sync with the sound. You could see the lips moving, but the words that were coming out weren't synchronized. Okay. Sometimes I would log into Spectrum or some other channel, and it would tell me I was not connected to the internet. So I would go and check my router and so forth, and all the right lights were on, and there was internet on my computer and so forth, but over here it wasn't. Okay, so the one thing that I would say around 90% of the time, maybe or even more, all I would do is come to here, system restart, and it would fix it. Now, there'd be some occasions where it wouldn't do it, so what I would have to do is completely unpower the TV. Okay, I don't mean just turn the power off. I would just unplug it from the wall for a few seconds and plug it back in, and that would fix it. And in other cases, sometimes that wouldn't do it, and I would just let it ride, and maybe a few hours later or the next day the problem would be fixed. The large majority of the time, 90%, at least 90% plus, this would fix it. Is just restart. Clicking the restart button there. And this will take a minute or so, minute and a half to 2 minutes. Okay, back to the screen, and then I would start anew, and usually things would work okay. Now, if the signal here is fair or stays bad, One thing I've done in the past is go to my computer and change the wireless channel. Sometimes there's too many people on that particular channel, and that's affecting the strength of the signal. Most of the time it's okay, but I like to vary the channel. If I don't see good consistently there, if it goes to fair, then I go ahead and look at changing the channel, especially if it stays fair for a long period of time. If it's just for a few hours, then I just let it ride. But that's another thing you can do if you're having issues with the internet. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.